My case is one of the worst cases of child abuse recorded internationally. My name is Brian N. Medel Lopez, known as Baby Brianne, and this is my story. I was born on February 14, 2002, the child of Stephanie Lopez and Andy Walters. Although I was born on Valentine's Day, the day of love was something I never received, as I only lived through 153 terrible days. I lived in New Mexico, United States, in a mobile home with 5 people, including my maternal uncle, Stephen Lopez. The 3 of them started abusing me as soon as I arrived home. My mother would slap me, bite me, and pinch me, and she would cry, unleashing all her anger on me. They would put used diapers in my mouth or muffle the sound under piles of clothes. My father and uncle inflicted most of the abuse on me while my mother sat and watched. They would kick me, hit me, throw me, and even rape me when I was just weeks old. They found it amusing when I cried in pain after the abuse and would hurt me even more. They would bite me so hard that I would bleed. On July 18, 2002, Andy went to buy beer. All 3 of them drank, and my mother lay in the same room where my father, my uncle, and I were. However, she claimed she didn't hear anything. The 2 men decided to play a mind game, tossing me in the air and letting me fall. I would hit the ceiling and then fall to the floor, repeatedly banging my head on the floor. The next day, my mother saw the bruises on me and asked what happened. The men responded that things got out of hand. She saw nothing wrong with the explanation and continued with her day, leaving me at home, where Andy and Steve continued to sexually abuse me with objects and push me against the wall. Hours later, my mother called for emergency help and claimed that I fell from a high chair. There, I was pronounced dead, and the doctors couldn't believe what they saw. My ribs were broken, both legs and an arm were fractured. My fingers were twisted and broken, bleeding. I was bruised from head to toe. There were about 15 human bite marks on my face and body. I had skull fractures that were 5 to 7 days old and bleeding inside my eyes. Stephen was sentenced to 57 years in prison. Walters was sentenced to 63 years. Meanwhile, my mother was sentenced to 27 years but served only 13 years, so she has been free for many years now. Patricia Walters and Robert Walters, who also lived in the trailer and did not report the abuse, were also found guilty. They were sentenced to 30 days in jail. I endured 153 days of hell, never knowing love from a toy or a candy, and despite that, my body was not claimed. After a burial arranged by compassionate people, my family put a cage around me. It is said that the cage is still there to this day, and there have been petitions to remove it, but the outcome is unknown.